Good afternoon from Los Angeles, and welcome to Stock Market Today, sponsored by Interactive Brokers. On today's show, we're taking a look at 3 stocks moving on earnings, including Qorvo and Fortinet. But first, let's take a look at the major indexes. It's Alyssa Quorum here with Ken Shreve. And Ken, we saw strong gains across the board. The Nasdaq and the Dow finishing up about 1.1% each. The S&P 500 closing with a 1% gain. So it looks like strength across the board.
Yeah, we had a better than expected jobs report before the open that fueled early sentiment, and then we had sort of a weak reading from the ISM Manufacturing Index, but stocks strengthened after that data came out. So in the end, big percentage gains for all 3 major stock indexes, all-time highs for the Nasdaq and the S&P 500, and the Dow tried to hit an all-time high, came pretty close, but closed just a little bit short, but all in all, a great way to end the week for the bulls.
All-time highs. All right, well, let's take a look at what's happening under the surface, starting with Qorvo in the semiconductor space, able to close the day with a gain of over 20% in heavy volume, even closing at session highs, moving on earnings. Now, it did report year-over-year declines on the top and bottom lines, but I think across the chip sector, we have this expectation for a recovery, and even with the declines year-over-year, it looks like investors liked the look of this report and guidance.
Yeah, no doubt about it, and I'm just wondering if there's going to be a show where we're not talking about a semiconductor stock, because it seems like semiconductor stocks are just in the news almost on a daily basis. But definitely just want to take a look at a weekly chart here. Very bullish close for chip maker Qorvo. Big percentage gain. This is a company that operates in 2 segments: mobile products and also infrastructure and defense products. So you mentioned it's a turnaround. So earnings and sales declined in the latest quarter, but Qorvo, like many other chip stocks, the market is betting on a turnaround in 2020 and into 2021. So this stock actually looks actionable. A weekly chart, it looks like it broke out from a really long consolidation that started more than a year ago. The open price of 91.89 looked like a legitimate entry, and it might be just a tad extended here, but just weekly chart shows a good solid breakout.
Yeah, that's right. And as you can see, it had been moving, it was range bound in a big consolidation for quite a long time, now blasting to all-time highs. So this is a really bullish looking chart.
Absolutely. And again, the weekly chart, when you stretch it out over a year, you just see just a good solid breakout from a long consolidation, and one of many chip stocks like we've been talking about in recent weeks acting well.
Yeah, that's right. And also, let's take a look at a stock in the cybersecurity group. Fortinet, ticker there is FTNT. Now, it gained about 12% for the week, a little under 11% for the day, gapping up on its quarterly earnings report. We did see earnings growth of 37%, sales growth of 21%. That was acceleration from the quarter before, which is good to see. And it is now approaching a potential buy point.
Yeah, not a lot of great news in the software sector in recent weeks. Heavy volume selling that we've noted a lot on this show, but the number's pretty good at Fortinet, and I think that acceleration in sales growth, the market definitely took notice of that. Look at the weekly chart here. You see that big weekly gain this week. Ironically, it's still just a little bit below a 92.89 buy point here, so this is actually a great one for the watch list. Some might have bought the stock today on the gap up, but this is an example because it's just below that left side high of 92.79. We could get a little handle forming here, and possible we could see an alternate entry in the not too distant future. So the problem is the security software group has fallen all the way down to 180 out of 197 industry groups that we rank. So it's not a real strong industry group in the market right now, but really solid results at Fortinet.
Yeah, that's right. Definitely something to keep in mind. And with a strong gain on earnings, just a reminder that from here, we definitely want to see the stock holding those gains. So it would be a perfect opportunity to see a handle for them, perhaps.
Yeah, anytime a stock gaps up and it's still slightly inside a base, if you can just get some tight sideways action, oftentimes you get a real legitimate entry and, often see another breakout attempt.
All right, and last but not least, let's take a look at Bruker. The ticker there is BRKR in the medical systems and equipment industry group. It gained about 13% for the day, staging a breakout over a consolidation, but it backed off of its highs for the day.
Yeah, but again, the weekly chart provides good perspective here. Similar to Fortinet, it rose powerfully, still slightly below that left side high, so it actually briefly cleared a 51.51 entry, but similar situation to Fortinet here. It's still below that buy point because it did back off like you mentioned, but if we can get just some little sideways, maybe some low volume selling, last remaining sellers get shaken out of the stock here, it could pave the way for a possible breakout. So mentioned Bruker in the medical systems equipment group. They make scientific instruments for molecular research and kind of a life sciences firm. So this is another good one for the watch list.
Yeah, that's right. And we did see accelerating revenue growth here, up about 12% for the quarter versus 10% in the quarter before. So that is also nice to see. As Ken mentioned, definitely one for the watch list. And a couple of quick announcements before we go. The first of which, this is a new one today. I know we do have a couple of the same announcements every week with some of our weekly features that come out. But this is a new announcement, guys. So we will be having the last ever Canceling Masters program this year. It's happening the weekend of December 14th and December 15th. Now, Ken, tell us a little bit about the Masters program, because this is our advanced, in-depth training for the year.
Yeah, and 2 full days. So it's it's 2 full days of a very informative workshop. You get portfolio managers from William O'Neill and Company and some IBD people as well, just kind of talking about the market, and people are walking away with great information and, of course, an actionable list of stocks to keep an eye on.
Yeah, that's right. Really actionable information and educational lessons, really taking your knowledge to the next level with different tactics, whether it be how to handle stocks during earnings, options plays, different gap up strategies that we look at, just to name a few. That's only scratching the surface.
Yeah, it's very robust, and like I said, two full days of a workshop from people that have been investing in the market and studying the market for a long time. So it's invaluable.
It is. All right. And for all of the details on that, you can go to investors.com/masters. Also, in case you missed it yesterday, we do have a new episode of our Investing with IBD podcast out now. A new episode, of course, comes out every Thursday, and you can check out that latest episode at investors.com/podcast. And we will be having another episode of our Investing Strategies show coming up on Monday. I'll be at the Nasdaq sitting down with 3 guests. We're going to be talking to the chief investment strategist at Nuveen about current market conditions, and I will be sitting down, well, it'll be a remote interview, but with the COO of Shopify. So that's set to be another good one as well. You can check all of the information for that out at investors.com/investing strategies. All right, that's it for the announcements this Friday. Got through them all. Hope you all have a great weekend, and we'll see you right back here next week.